Even on the day, on the way to the red carpet, or in the limo, just to wind her up, I said, oh, I'm going to start off with a funny little one-liner, just an old-fashioned joke. She went, oh, what? I said, what did the deaf, dumb and blind orphan get for Christmas? And Jane went, I don't know. I said, cancer.
Socrates said that fame is the perfume of heroic deeds. Fame is the perfume of heroic deeds. Well, it probably was back then. There was no Heat magazine and Big Brother. You actually had to do something to become famous. You were a great scholar or a leader of men. And all the way through history, that was the case. 500 years ago, the most famous man on the planet was Leonardo da Vinci because of all the great things he did. He was a painter. He was an inventor. Oh, go on, mate. Sorry. I can't do one-on-one. It's a big place. In a much smaller room, I'd still ignore you, cunt. Shush.
I fell back in love with stand-up on my last tour, Humanity. I played arenas around the world. Netflix bought it for a record amount. It was the most watched special of the year. I thought, everyone loves me now. Everyone loves me now. Then I got this tweet. Real tweet. Call yourself a comedian? He knows I do. Literally says the word in my Twitter bio. Call yourself a comedian? You're about as funny as... Now, I thought he was going to go for the jugular and say Miranda, or... Come on. Come on, guys. Don't... I'm joking. Right. Call yourself a comedian? You're about as funny as a fart at a baby's funeral. He was trying to hurt my feelings. But his big mistake was choosing something that would be fucking hilarious. As if that would... A fart at a baby's funeral. Big echoey church. Everyone just silently sobbing like that. Tiny little coffin. Tiny little coffin. And someone farts, you'd laugh. Even if it was your baby. You know, no. If you're at the funeral, it's been dead a week, do you know what I mean? You're probably up for a giggle. Particularly if you're the father. If you're the mother, you probably still find it hard seeing the funny side of things. But I'm a considered comedian. I like my jokes to be accurate and my targets to be fair. So I was engaging these people. I was saying, why is it transphobic? And they were saying, it's about a trans person. I said, well, that's ridiculous. That's like saying a joke about Bill Cosby is automatically racist. It depends on the joke. But I was talking to them, I'm willing to learn, and I found out my crime was that I dead-named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, you know, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name, and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw him on the Olympic Games. It was decathlete. It was in everything. He was all over the place. Shot put and pole vault. He won a medal. He was famous. He was on telly all the time. But, you know, a big, famous man with a huge... I don't know, but I mean, I'm guessing he probably... He's a big... But I've learnt my lesson. Now, I'd never dead name her now. Now I know it's wrong. I'd never dead name her now. But, like, years ago... when, you know, she was a man. That was years ago, I'm saying, right? And she went to the doctor, right? And knocked on the door, and the doctor went, come in. This is years ago. I'm saying, I'd never dead name her now, but this is like a flashback before anyone... Do you know what So, come in. And he went, hello, Bruce Jenner, because that was his name then. The doctor, you know, this was years ago, and the doctor went... Oh, I'm Bruce Jenner, you big old... How you doing, boy, you fucker? How you doing? You big old lunt. Oh, how you doing, boy? Come here, you fucker. How you doing, Brucey boy? You all right? Right? And Bruce Jenner, because that was his name, this is years ago, right? So, Bruce Jenner went, not too bad, doctor, yeah. Not too bad, right? And I was what can I do for you, Bruce? You fucker. How you doing, boy? And Bruce Jenner went, because that was his name. Bruce Jenner went, look at that. And they went, oh, come on, Bruce Jenner, you know the rules. He uses his whole name every time for some reason. I don't know why. Come on, Bruce Jenner, you fucker. You know the rules. You can't bring your big old pole vaulting pole in here, mate, you know. And Bruce Jenner went, no, that's not my pole vaulting pole, that's my enormous penis. And I thought, oh, right, yeah, seeing as it is your penis, you can bring it in here. But you should have left your shot puts outside. And Bruce Jenner went, that was his name for 58 years, I think. He went, no, they're not my shot puts, they're my enormous testicles. That's where I keep my testosterone and my spunk and shit, right? And the doctor went, oh, yeah, that makes perfect. I'm a medical man, and that you're a big bloke. Oh, you fucker. How you doing, boy? You're a big... You're big, and you would have a big old cock and balls. They're beautiful, but a bit familiar. And no, but you must be very proud of them, Bruce. Bruce Jenner went, oh, this is going to surprise you, doctor. I want to get rid of them. And the doctor went, what? Why? Ah, they get in the way. Get in the way of what? Fucking driving, for one thing.
I went to school with this guy, right? He was a div kid. No, he was. I talk about him on my other two stand-up shows. His name was David Beasley. He's the one that said, if you get captured by cannibals, when they're cooking you in the pot, they show you pornographic pictures so you get an erection and there's more meat to go round. Oh. But he told me a very funny story as well. There was a scandal in this sort of neighbourhood. A guy a few doors away from him that was older than him, an older boy, had got done for lewd behaviour. He was cottaging. He was a gay guy. And he'd gone down to this public toilet in Cemetery Junction, which is an area of Reading. And he'd gone into this cubicle, got the hole there, and he was waiting. People were coming in and out. He waited for ages, and eventually someone came in, heard rustling. Cop comes through. Ooh. He grabbed it. They can't get away then. I guess. I've never tried it. I don't. He sucked him off. What do you think he was going to do? Play London's Burning? Of course. This dental floss is big. Of course it's big. So, he got him. He sucked him off, and when they both went outside, it was his dad. Oh. All the Colgate in the world would never get rid of that, would it? Oh. I don't know if you're affected by the volcanic ash cloud, but I had friends that were stuck all over the world, and they missed weddings and funerals, and they had to put themselves up in a hotel for extra days that they hadn't budgeted for, and they couldn't get their money back because the airlines were saying, no, we can't pay you because the insurance companies won't pay us because they're saying it's an act of God. Well, what isn't an act of God? No, if you believe in God, that's sort of a definition of him, isn't it? That he does everything. Isn't that right? Everything is an act of him. He's all-powerful. He's everywhere at once. He invented everything. There was nothing before him. He invented time, everything. He's across it all, okay? He doesn't miss a trick, and he's not absent-minded. A volcano going off isn't like him going, fuck, I left the oven on. You know, it's... And who are these insurance companies that can decide what is and isn't an act of God? How do they know, okay? Have they got a hotline to God? They call him up, do they? Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Could I speak to God, please? Speaking. Oh, I didn't think you'd answer the phone yourself. What do you want? Oh, that volcanic ash cloud. Was that you? Yeah. Yes, that was an act of me, all right. So I shouldn't pay out. No, don't fucking pay him a penny, son. No. Brilliant, brilliant. While I've got you here, did you make a tree fall on Steve Baxter's car? There's a lot of Steve Baxters. Steve Baxter, 2 Acacia Road, Hounslow. It happened at 2:15 on the 3rd of June this year. 2:15, 3rd of June. No, that wasn't me. I was in Africa that day giving AIDS to babies.
He does everything. He does everything.
Now, you're not to know this, but I am usually in my pyjamas by 6 p.m. I come home from work, the telly goes on, the pyjamas go on. Even if there's company, it's, you know what I mean, my house, my rules, pyjamas on. And if we've got, you know, relatives round, Jane says, oh, not the ones with the holes in, that's all she asks. Do you know what I mean? You don't need your mother-in-law, when you bend over, it's like the last chicken in the window going, he's got a tumour. You know what I mean? It's just, no. But you don't want to throw them away. Your pyjamas, they get nicer with age. They get soft, don't they? And they fit you just right. No one's going to see them. I actually invented a game with an old pair of pyjamas with a hole in them. No, you know when it gets sort of really thin, the gusset, then suddenly a little hole appears. You get like a quarter of an inch sort of hole. And when blokes are watching telly, we sort of doodle. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why. It's sort of like a comfort thing. I think it's anthropological. I think chimps do it. Not on me, on them. I don't... No good to me, they haven't got opposable thumbs or anything, so... I've never tried to get a chimp to wank me off, so let's nip that one in the bud. And I discovered, right, that if I pulled out miscellaneous bits of skin, right... No, could be a bit of scrotal sac, could be a hint of foreskin. You only put it out half an inch, you've got to guess which... It's called offal Jim Jam. No. And you just pull it out, just half an inch, right? And you turn to your girlfriend and you go, offal Jim Jam, cock or ball? It might be genius.
There's no reincarnation, no ghost, no heaven, I believe. People can't get over that. People quiz me on Twitter when they find out I'm an atheist. They go, what, you don't believe in God at all? I go, no. Do you pray? I go, no. They go, why don't you pray just in case there's a God? And I say, why do you put garlic over your door just in case there's a Dracula? Right? And I've got no problem with praying, you know. I know loads of nice Christians and Muslims and Jews, and if one of my family is very ill, they always say, oh, I'll pray for them. And I always say, oh, thanks very much, because it's a nice gesture. If they said, oh, we also cancelled the chemotherapy, I go, don't do that, don't do that. Pray, fill your boots, son, but let's do the praying and the chemotherapy, shall we? Because that's the same result as just the chemotherapy. So let's definitely keep that one, shall we? I got in trouble talking about praying on Twitter once. Do you remember a few years ago that terrible disaster in Oklahoma, the hurricane? People lost their lives and their livelihood, and I donated to the Red Cross, and I tweeted about it with a link saying you can donate here too, trying to help them with their drive. And one of those sort of frivolous entertainment magazines from America, their account tweeted this thing. It really annoyed me. They tweeted, Beyonce and Rihanna send prayers to Oklahoma. And I tweeted back going, oh, I feel like a cunt, I only sent money. Someone tweeted me once, would you come to the bedside of a dying child and tell them there's no heaven? I tweeted back, is it a paid gig? I prefer dogs, obviously. Dogs are better people than people, aren't they? They're amazing dogs. They're our best friends, they guard us, they guide us. There's medical detection dogs that can smell if you've got, like, AIDS. I'm not a doctor, but their noses are like 1,000 times more sensitive than ours, so they sort of go, poor, you're well HIV, fuck, you know that. And you go, you can smell AIDS on someone. Yeah. Then why didn't you smell it on the bloke I brought home last night then, you fucking idiot? They did the first 3 billion years by themselves, evolution and all that. And then we got involved and we did a bit of selective breeding, you know, getting them how we wanted them to do jobs for us, you know, a bit more of that, a bit stronger, faster, whatever. And they're great at the jobs they're bred to do, and they love the job they're bred to do because they're genetically hardwired to love that behaviour anyway. Although the Rhodesian Ridgeback was bred to hunt lions, and I can't help but think that was a little bit of a shock to it when it found out. So we've done all the breeding, all the different pedigrees, all the miles around, a big passing out parade. There's a bloke in a square with a white coat and a clipboard, and he goes, right, dogs. And they all go, what? Who wants to know what jobs they've got? We all do. Right. Okay, Labradors. Yeah? Do you like carefully bringing back dead ducks? Yeah. That's your job. Amazing. That is amazing. That is my favourite job. That is my favourite job. Jack Russell's. Yeah. Do you like shooting down rabbit holes after... Yeah. That's your job. Fucking hell. Best day ever. Best day ever. Miniature poodles. Yeah. Do you like being carried around by elderly homosexuals? Yeah. That's your job. That's your job. Ridgebacks. Yo. You're hunting lions. What? You're hunting lions. Fuck off. Yeah, you are. No, we're not. Lions? We get fucking mashed. Why can't the Rottweilers hunt lions? They're shaking babies. Good boy. Good boy. You shake that baby if you want. Good boy. Cheers.
To be quite political, growing up, that 15, 16-year-old becoming aware, and, well, you did it to annoy your parents, obviously, but I think we're inundated with politics from an early age. I think everything is charged with politics and morality and the way to live. It's in everything, fables, nursery rhymes, little sayings. I remember I must have been as young as 6, when we used to have an assembly at school, an infant school. We'd all come in every Monday and sit down on the floor, cross-legged, and our deputy headmaster used to come and tell us a story. And it always had a moral that we were meant to think about, and this would make us into leaders of men, character building. And he used to take ages over it, and he loved it. It was his best day, you know. And I remember he told us about the 2 mice, the lazy mouse and the industrious mouse. And it was summer, and these 2 little mice were out in the woods. The sun was out, the streams were babbling, there was flowers, there were berries, there were nuts, there was, and Lazy Mouse, he'd just be running around in the sun, having a bite from a berry, throwing the rest away. There was loads, it was never going to run out. Industrious Mouse, he'd have a berry, sure, but he'd eat it all, and he'd put one away for a colder season. He knew. Lazy Mouse, he'd be fucking running about, sunbathing, eating that, chewing out, throwing the rest away. Industrious Mouse went, oh, be careful, Lazy Mouse, because come winter, oh, fuck off, you square. The fall comes, same sort of pattern. The last of the berries, he's chewing there, throwing the rest away, he's just like chilling out, he's kicking through the leaves. You can't see him, if you saw the leaves moving, he'd be under the leaves, basically. You'd go, what's that? It's Lazy Mouse underneath the leaf. If you could go under there, like the Discovery Channel, you'd see Lazy Mouse going, fuck it. Industrious Mouse, he'd be freeze-drying loads of berries, he'd be chopping wood, and he made an axe to chop the wood out of a little twig, and this sliver of flint, which he tied on with a horsehair, thus enabling him to chop and stockpile fuel. So, winter comes, different pattern. The ground's hard, there's nothing, there's no fruit, there's no berries, there's no nuts, there's nothing at all on the trees. And he can't find anything, and he's starving, and he's freezing, and he's losing his body weight. And of course, Industrious Mouse, now he's in his cottage that he built. Somehow. Roaring log fire. Just sitting there, rocking, on a pebble. Knock at the door. Who's that?
Obvious, isn't it? So he goes over to the door. He opens the door. It's Lazy Mouse. And he goes, what do you want? He goes, I'm cold and I'm hungry. I can't find any food and I think I'm going to die. And he goes, well, I did warn you, didn't I? And he goes, yeah. He goes, never mind. Come in here and share with me. Where's the moral there? Fuck around, do what you want, and then scrounge off a do-gooder. That's a terrible moral for children, isn't it? Awful. He told us the one about the boy who cried wolf. Have you heard that? Oh, well, I'm going to tell you again. Boy, in the Bible, I don't know, he's... I haven't got a specific year, have I? Right? Boy, looking after the sheep for the villagers. That's his job. Look after those sheep, boy. You go, all right, yeah. But he gets a bit bored. Probably gets a bit sleepy if he's counting them. Right? And he thinks, oh, I'll have a laugh here. He goes, wolf, wolf. And the villagers come up and they go, where's the wolf? He goes, there's no wolf. They go, oh, you go. So next day, he gets bored again. He thinks, that worked a treat. He's got very little imagination. He goes, I'll do that again. Okay? So he goes, wolf, wolf. Where's the wolf? There's no wolf. Oh, you can't. So the next day, he's sitting there. There really is a wolf. And the wolf comes up and he goes, wolf, 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 wolf. But the villagers don't come. And the wolf eats all the sheep. And we were told the moral of that is never tell a lie. No, it isn't. The moral of that is never tell the same lie twice. Again, a terrible moral for children. Nursery rhymes. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, which I later learned meant his cranium. I thought his hat fell off. And Jill came tumbling after. And that's a true fable of 16th century lovers who used to go up to the well behind the prying eyes of the villagers and their spouses and have it away. And what's the moral there, though? Don't fuck around with sluts or you get your head caved in. How is that applicable to 5-year-olds? I have never worked out the moral to Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. All I can think is, don't sit on a wall if you're an egg. But again, how is that applicable to a 5-year-old human? I mean, you tell that to a group of 5, oh, so don't sit on a wall if you're an egg. Oh, well, what do you mean if I'm an egg? I'm not an egg. It doesn't make sense. If I'm an egg, none of us are eggs. If there was an egg there, it wouldn't make sense. Because you go to the egg, don't sit on a wall. You go, I'm an egg, I can't hear you, I've got nothing. I've got no ears, no eyes, I don't know what the fuck. What? Don't sit on a wall, I can't fucking hear, I've got nothing. I'm in nothingness. I can't fucking climb walls for a start, so... Don't send horses to perform medical procedures. Of course they couldn't put him together again. They've got no dexterity whatsoever. They can't sew to save their life. They've got no thumbs, let alone opposable thumbs. Don't send a horse. It's delicate. An egg? We've got a cracked egg. Should we send a horse? Definitely not. Have you got a doctor or someone who works for Fabergé? Don't. We've got like a half-a-ton creature with no fingers. No. Don't send that. Got a four-legged thing with like that. No chance. They couldn't put on gloves. They couldn't scrub up. They can't.
Imagine, there's an egg, delicate egg. Horse comes over, fucked. It couldn't, they wouldn't even think of fucked. That's it. They wouldn't even see it. They go over there, what? Fucked, that's it. Wouldn't even, you couldn't explain it to it. Don't send, it's ridiculous. If I had to design the perfect egg-crushing device, it would be a hoof. I need this, as a cracked egg, I need it crushing completely. Hoof. The hoof's great. Don't send it doesn't matter whether they're the king's horses or not. Certainly don't send all of them. That's gonna be chaos. If there was one horse with a little bit of nous, he did like 1 year before he got kicked out of Harvard. He could, I know the rudimentaries, they all go, fuck it, for fuck's sake. No lads, don't, they're fucking all over it. Fucked. It's definitely fucked now. One of the first big charities I got involved with was the Terence Higgins Trust, the big AIDS charity, and it was mid to late 80s, and people were like, what's this new thing called AIDS? What is... I mean, it's gone from strength to strength now. It's doing brilliantly. It's gone global. So got its own day and everything. 1st of December, World AIDS Day. I don't think it'll ever pick up like Christmas. We don't do anything in our house. There's no decorations. But I discovered something. You're still learning. The first HIV virus was a combination of 2 separate viruses that combined in rhesus monkeys, and it made this rudimentary form of AIDS. And it was fatal to them, but this was passed to chimpanzees. Sometimes chimps would get a bloodlust and eat a rhesus monkey, and it evolved and mutated in chimps. And because we're 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee, it was able to be passed to humans. And the first human contracted AIDS when he was chopping up chimp meat and cut his finger, although that's the excuse I'd have given. You'd have to come up with something, wouldn't you? You go to the doctor and you go, oh, I feel terrible, Doc. The doctor goes, oh, I'm not surprised. You go, is it ME? Worse than ME. You wish you had ME. You shouldn't be laughing about it. He's got terrible news. No, terrible doctor. You're the first human to contract AIDS. Is that bad? Can be. Still laughing. You shouldn't... How would I got that? 2 ways. 1, you were fucking a chimp up the arse. Fucking a chimp up the arse? Me? No way. How else could I have got it? Oh, I don't know, you could have been chopping a chimp up, cut your finger, that one. Choppy, chimpy finger, one. I bet he went straight out to the jungle and found that chimp and went, you gave me AIDS. Oh, what? You gave me AIDS. I gave you a blowjob. Shush. No, I got AIDS from you. Well, where did I get AIDS from? From eating monkeys. I don't eat monkeys. You're either eating them or fucking them. I was eating them. But psychology, psychiatry, neuroscience, it's still in its infancy. And we still know so little about the brain. And 150 years ago, we knew nothing. It was all guesswork, right? And, everything was just mental. If you weren't a white, sort of heterosexual, married Christian man, right? If you deviated too far, mental. They just went mental, like that. Like homosexuality, mental illness, you were put in an asylum for life, or worse, tortured. Women who fell pregnant out of wedlock, mental, asylum for life, right? And now we understand things more, we're more tolerant, I think it's going too far the other way, though, because now nothing's mental. You can't find something that nothing is considered mental. Everything is a syndrome or an addiction or a preference, right? I could have my legs removed, have wheels put on, identify as a pram, right? And if you say I'm mental, you're a bigot, right? Now, that's a bit hack, that joke now, isn't it? Oh, I identify as a thing then, right? It's a bit old-fashioned, right? But
I'm going to leave it in to annoy people, right? Because that's the bit that'll offend people. Same as humanity. I talk about AIDS, famine, cancer, the Holocaust, rape, paedophilia. But no, the one thing you mustn't joke about is identity politics. The one thing you should never joke about is the trans issue, right? They just want to be treated equally. I agree. That's why I include them. You know? But they know I'm joking about all the other stuff, but they go, no, he must mean that, right? Like a joke is a window to the comedian's true soul. That's just not the case. I'll take on any view to make the joke funniest. I'll pretend to be right-wing. I'll pretend to be left-wing. I'll pretend to be clever. I'll pretend to be stupid. Whatever makes the joke funnier without prejudice. Okay, full disclosure, in real life, of course I support trans rights. I support all human rights, and trans rights are human rights, you know? Live your best life. Use your preferred pronouns. Be the gender that you feel that you are. But meet me halfway, ladies. Lose the cock. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
When I first moved in with my girlfriend, 20-odd years ago, our first flat together, it was a horrible place. It was in King's Cross, and it was a horrible area, King's Cross, a seedy road, seedy block, horrible little thing. It was a rip-off, but it's all we could afford. It was one room, just one room, but it had like a little kitchenette area. So what we decided to do, we moved the single bed sort of into there, so we had a lounge. It was like a one-bedroom flat. So at night, we're in a space this big. The bed literally just fit in. I had to scrape it down the wall to get it in, and it came over the doorway a bit, and in bed, I could open the fridge. The fridge was there, the cooker was there, and the sink was there, okay? No toilet. The toilet was a shared toilet with all the other flats in the block, and it was 2 floors down. So what wins in the middle of the night when I need a wee? Do you know what I mean? Putting on trousers and going outside, or just pop into the sink? That one. And I remember, 20-odd years ago, Jane in a sleepy state saying, "Oh, at least take the dishes out first." I didn't. I used to get hold of the bottom plate and lift them all up and wee straight down the plug hole.
Have you seen all the ghost hunter shows? Years and years. Celebrity ghost hunter. All around the world. Thousands and thousands of hours of footage. They've never seen a fucking ghost. It's all like, oh, what was that? Was it that I was just the... No, not the... Oh, did you hear that? Was it just that? Was it you? Oh, no. Imagine if wildlife programmes were like that. Imagine watching David Attenborough all these years and everybody goes, here, on Kilimanjaro, we see the... Oh, no, it's not. And by the banks of the Limpopo, the elusive... Oh, it's not. You'd stop watching the pedo hunter shows, on the other hand. There's usually accompanying the crew just in case, you know what I mean? Particularly if it's a BBC production. Oh, shut up. Out there, well done, Winslet. I told you, do a Holocaust movie, the awards come, didn't I? See? Trouble is with Holocaust films, there's never any gag reel on the DVDs. I don't know, there isn't. It's, now, don't do it. It'll be fine.
How are you? Nice to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Yeah.
Nice new studio.
This is new. This is a new experience, yes.
Yeah, it's great to...
Giant moon, big fake moon behind you.
Actually, the studio was easier to find than the channel on the TV.
But are you into Harry? I think because he's British, like the superstar, you'd be into him. But are you into Harry?
Well, yeah, he's fine. But why do you think? Because he's British, I'm into him.
Kind of.
We've got as many idiots as you. I don't have to be into everyone British, do I?
You're so macho, aren't you?
I know, it's a
You're so tough. I'm glad you got your shirt on. You always have to show a bit of that, don't you?
No.
It's for the menopausal women. They go, oh, look, he's taking his shirt. He walked through the restaurant the other week carrying a stag. Who do you think you are? Thor.
Hold on.
And I was going to come out dressed as Adolf Hitler, right? No, right? And I was going to come out there, I was just doing that, waving to them, right? And then get to the podium and let it die down and go, too much? Right? And then I wanted to look in the crowd and go, it's the wrong crowd, it's just the wrong crowd. And then I was going to say, that's the last time I borrow a suit from Mel Gibson. And I went out and said,
I've got no Will Smith material, and they got a big laugh just because they were thinking it.
Of
Like,
course.
oh, yeah, that's my show. I wasn't there, right? And I said, people on Twitter, it was trending, people saying, oh, what would have happened if Ricky had been hosting it? And I said, nothing, because I wouldn't have made a joke about his wife's hair. I'd have made a joke about her boyfriend.
Yes.
I haven't offended anyone. I didn't mean, it's not my fault. There's a lot of powerful people here, so if I said, it's... Honestly, I like a drink as much as the next man. Unless the next man is Mel Gibson.
This new thing in England is celebrities having depression. Oh, I feel all depressed. It's always overprivileged performers that have these bouts of depression. You don't have blue-collar workers, you know, working-class mums with 6 children having, I feel a bit depressed. Do you? Get the kids to school. Oh, yeah. You know, I just think of these guys on minimum wage reading articles about going, oh, look at this poor millionaire comedian. He feels all alienated. I wish there's something I could do, but I lost my fingers.
Now, it strikes me that in the beginning of your career, you must have had so much pressure to go down the kind of handsome leading man route. And was it hard to kind of resist that?
You answer.
Mel Gibson, come on. No, come on. I'm not going to have a go at him. He's been through a lot. Not as much as the Jews, to be fair.
You should do one with talk show hosts.
Yeah, I was thinking that just the crew. Me, Leno, obviously, brilliant. David Letterman and Jon Stewart. It was just.
And then what if you expanded it and got even more people in there? You could probably
Larry Sanders.
Okay, Larry Sanders is fictional.
So I'm ready.
Come on!
If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and... So... The next presenter is an award-winning actress with special powers. In Die Another Day, she used her powers of seduction to win over James Bond. In X-Men, she used her powers to control the elements. In Catwoman, she used the power of being able to wash herself all over. And she's the paw for behind the ear. It's brilliant. Please welcome the very clean Halle Berry. All-female remakes are the big thing. There's a female remake of Ghostbusters. There's going to be a female remake of Ocean's 11. And this is brilliant for the studios, because they get guaranteed box office results, and they don't have to spend too much money on the cast. So... Shut up, I don't care. The first is an actor, producer, writer, and director whose movies have grossed over $3.5 billion at the box office. He's won 2 Academy Awards and 3 Golden Globes for his powerful and varied performances, starring in such films as Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, Castaway, Apollo 13, and Saving Private Ryan. The other is Tim Allen.
But you're right, then took my hand and all is fine. I was here so bad for love, but you gave me smiles. And you didn't walk away, you stayed for life, for life. Oh baby, you're for life. Oh baby, you're for life.
Ricky Gervais couldn't be here tonight, so instead we're going to give this to our friend Steve Carell.
Look at his stupid face. Couldn't actually win one of his own, so he stole someone else's. A few years ago, on this show, I made a joke about Mel Gibson getting a bit drunk and saying a few unsavoury things. We've all done it. I wasn't judging him, but now I find myself in the awkward position of having to introduce him again.
Listen, I'm sure it's embarrassing for both of us, okay? And I blame NBC for this terrible situation. Mal blames... We know who Mal blames. Listen, I still feel a bit bad for it, right? Mal's forgotten all about it, apparently. That's what drinking does. No. I want to say something nice about Mal before he comes out. So... Oh, yeah, OK. Here you go. I'd rather have a drink with him in his hotel room tonight than with Bill Cosby. Please, Malcolm. Mal Gibson.
Yeah. I love seeing Ricky once every 3 years because it reminds me to get a colonoscopy.
Where is he? Oh, there in the front row. Just... Just in case you have to make a dash for it. Have you got it on you? I've heard you carry it around with you to get in restaurants and stuff. I made you what? Don't look at me. I'm gone off road. Everyone's getting nervous now. There's nothing on the auto cue. I could do anything. This is live. I made you what you are, and I get nothing back. Have you even been to see Ghost Town yet? No. I sat through Heaven Almighty. Give me my Emmy. Give me my Emmy. I'll come down there. Give me it. I'll tickle you. I don't care. I've got nothing to lose here. I'm a nobody here. Where is it? Yes, you have. Stop. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Give me it. Give me the Emmy. Give me the Emmy. Give me the Emmy. Give me it. Give me the... Thank you. Right. Good. That's settled. But what have we got to be oppressed about?
Me and you?
What's our issue?
No.
I mean, you've got Jewish. I haven't even got that.
Yeah, right. What's your thing?
Nothing. I'm a white, middle-class bloke from England. I get annoyed at people eating too loudly, or a waiter not looking at me immediately, you know, or...
Asking somebody the time and they go, you know, like they're doing you a big favour.
Really annoys me. Yeah. And also, if there's two people and you need to bump into each other, right, it's equal. We weren't looking either. I go sorry, they go, well, hold on, it's the
exactly.
same for
You
both
hit
of
me
us.
too, I know.
What are you doing?
I know.
Yeah. And that makes my blood boil, which is weird. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
No one's dying, no one's starving, I haven't got any fatal diseases, but... a waiter's got the television on too loud, and he's not even... Well, it's not for you, you know. And barmen have the television on. I was just getting to the age where I could ask, right? When you hit sort of like 36, you can go into a pub and say, can we have that telly off, mate?
Yeah.
Right? Then I became famous. And now I can't again. So I have to sit there and see it, because I don't want anyone to go, oh, look, he's changed.
Yes, exactly. People really want to say that, too.
Before it was, they're going to go, a bloke came into the room and he wasn't polite. Now they're going to say, Ricky Gervais came into the room, and they can pinpoint who that person is.
Oh, well, it affects your tipping, that's for sure. Yeah.
And what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you up the tip?
I got to double it, you know.
But where does it stop with you? You give him $10, they could go, $10 is nothing to you.
Yes, I know. See, that's the thing.
Obviously, everyone knew who Larry David was from Seinfeld, but many people couldn't put a face to the name. After the first season of Curb, how did it change, you know, when your picture was suddenly appearing in the paper as well? How did that feel?
It actually was, it felt good. I'm just talking about just walking around and going shopping, you know.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because people seem to be enthusiastic about the show, and they seem to like me. It's kind of fun. It's like the world seems to be a friendlier place for me. It gives me more freedom.
Right.
Once I know people know who I am, it gives me a lot of license and freedom to behave in ways I would normally wouldn't behave.
So it was actually liberating for you.
Yeah.
I took the other route, and that I was suddenly very self-conscious, much more than I'd ever been. I end up just not going out in public. I mean, I'm very nearly Howard Hughes. Don't you think it's weird for people to know, they think they know everything about you? I don't think we're meant to be recognised, are we, really?
But people really love and respect you, so when they come up to you and they say something to you...
It's always nice. It's
nice,
as good as it gets.
Right.
Imagine if they hated you when you were famous.
Right,
you know?
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, I was on a show in the early 80s, first show, and I just bought this convertible, and I took it out of the showroom. It was a Fiat convertible, and I put the top down, and I'm starting to make a little money, and I'm on this TV show, and I'm driving down Santa Monica Boulevard. I pull up at a light, and some guy yells out from the bus stop, "Your show stinks!" Oh. Put the top up. Yeah. And never put the top down again. That was it. Got rid of the convertible. Contrasted with that, this is a hoot for me. I was in Florida last week, and I was standing outside of a restaurant waiting for somebody, and a guy came up to me and said, "Are you alone? Do you want to come join me for dinner? I'm with my wife." I said, "No, that's okay, thank you."
Yeah.
But it's sweet, you know.
Yeah, well, it is very sweet. It's just that, what do you say? You have to say, I can't.
I want to say, you've watched the show. Do you?
You must know.
If you came up to that guy on the show, do you think he would want to go sit and have dinner with a stranger? Think about it.
When do I start? Oh, he said it'll just be a couple minutes.
So you don't want me to start, is that it?
It's a couple minutes. You don't mind, do you?
I just think it's kind of weird. I mean, if you got your food come first, I would say go ahead and start. What do I care?
Well, I would wait for you to get yours.
I really wouldn't want you to wait. I'd be uncomfortable if you waited.
Well, I'd feel it would be polite to wait for your food to arrive.
I think it's kind of impolite to prevent a person who's hungry from eating.
Yeah, but we're supposed to be having lunch together. I mean, that's
we are
what I
having
bought.
lunch. What's the difference? Do we have to start at the exact same time? I don't get that.
Well, I don't see why you can't wait 2 seconds for your cold sandwich. It's not like it's even hot.
Well, I don't see why you care if I take a bite of my food. How does that bother you?
Because we're having lunch together.
So what?
The two of us.
I came from sort of nowhere, so there was like a mad sort of interest, a mad frenzy, and that gave me the creeps. The interviews, just, you get bored with talking about yourself. Some of them are banal.
I cringe every time I read anything, any interview. I cringe from it. Cringe. Because there's rarely a rapport with anybody who's talking to me. Mm. They don't listen even to what you're saying. They'll ask their question, and then they're waiting for you to give your answer, and then they ask their next question. It's never a conversation. It's always, you know what I mean? It's always
this. They do this. They go, are there ever times when you just, don't like what you've done? You go,
right, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. You obviously...
That's exactly it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Go right to the next one.
And the other one is, they go to that, I go, okay. I want to go, you're not giving me anything.
I know. I say to him sometimes, put that away, talk to me.
Yeah. You want to hear, that's an amazing answer.
Yeah, right.
So, where did you meet Jerry?
Yeah. Now, the other thing I have a hard time with is going on shows, talk shows and stuff like that. I only see a downside to it. I see me blurting something out, some faux pas that'll destroy me, Like if I had something booked like a month from now, the whole month would be ruined for me. I tried to get out of something today.
Not this.
No, not this. No, not this. I'm supposed to do this thing in New York. They called me a year ago, and I said no. And then I said, call me next year, just to get out, get out of it. Call me next year, never thinking next year's going to come and there'll be a call. So, of course, they called me, and I said, oh, okay. And now it's coming up, and it's on my mind. So I called up to her. I said, I put on my funereal voice. I am so sorry. I cannot. I'm sorry. I cannot do it. I've got a lot of problems right now. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And for 15 minutes, I told her how sorry I was, okay? Okay, it made me feel so guilty, then called me back. I just spoke to my boss. You have to do this, you know. I said, all right, okay. You know, so now I'm doing it. And now the next 2 months are ruined for me. Yeah, it's true, because I will never have a day now where I don't think about having to go and do that now. Not one day. I won't have one day for the next 2 months. I'm serious. That's all I'm going to think about.
Everything's ruined.
Yeah.
You just forget about it for a while and you have a lovely meal. Then little adrenaline rush. You go, oh.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, now it's only a month away. Yeah. My old profile in this interview, I feel like I'm all profile. You're seeing the whole big nose, the whole thing, huh?
Now, are you being funny there?
No.
Do you know you're being funny all the time? Were you funny as a kid?
No, not especially.
No?
I don't think I was. No. I would do stuff for the family, little, you know, performance kind of stuff, Elvis and stuff like that. You know, I'd come in and do Elvis. But I wasn't witty, I don't think.
I think you have to be a certain age to be funny.
Yeah.
So few people under 30 are funny.
You have to discover when you're inadequate in order to be funny. And
Absolutely.
you don't know you're inadequate
Who
when
wants
you're
to
a kid.
see feasibly good-looking, clever, popular people doing things brilliantly?
Absolutely.
Who cares?
Yeah. I started to become funny when I realized I was inferior and inadequate.
Mine was when I got fat.
Well,
Really,
same deal. Yeah, who's an audience going to laugh at? The guy who gets up on stage and talks about how he got the girl, or the guy who's telling the funny story about how he didn't get the girl? Come on.
You can't give yourself a cool role. We've got to be the putts.
I played arenas around the world. Netflix bought it for a record amount. It was the most watched special of the year. I thought, everyone loves me now. Everyone loves me now. Then I got this tweet. Real tweet. Call yourself a comedian? He knows I do. Literally says the word in my Twitter bio. Call yourself a comedian? You're about as funny as... Now, I thought he was going to go for the jugular and say Miranda, or... Come on. Come on, guys. Don't... I'm joking. Right. Call yourself a comedian? You're about as funny as a fart at a baby's funeral. He was trying to hurt my feelings. But his big mistake was choosing something that would be fucking hilarious. As if that would... A fart at a baby's funeral. Big echoey church. Everyone just silently sobbing like that. Tiny little coffin. Tiny little coffin. And someone farts, you'd laugh. Even if it was your baby. You know, no. If you're at the funeral, it's been dead a week, do you know what I mean? You're probably up for a giggle. Particularly if you're the father. If you're the mother, you probably still find it hard seeing the funny side of things. But I'm a considered comedian. I like my jokes to be accurate and my targets to be fair. So I was engaging these people. I was saying, why is it transphobic? And they were saying, it's about a trans person. I said, well, that's ridiculous. That's like saying a joke about Bill Cosby is automatically racist. It depends on the joke. But I was talking to them, I'm willing to learn, and I found out my crime was that I dead-named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, you know, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name, and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw him on the Olympic Games. It was decathlon. It was in everything. He was all over the place. Shot put and pole vault. He won a medal. He was famous. He was on telly all the time. But, you know, a big, famous man with a huge... I don't know, but I mean, I'm guessing he's a big... But I've learnt my lesson. Now, I'd never dead name her now. Now I know it's wrong. I'd never dead name her now. But, like, years ago... when, you know, she was a man. That was years ago, I'm saying, right? And she went to the doctor, right? And knocked on the door, and the doctor went, come in. This is years ago. I'm saying, I'd never dead name her now, but this is like a flashback before anyone... Do you know what So, come in. And he went, hello, Bruce Jenner, because that was his name then. The doctor, you know, this was years ago, and the doctor went... Oh, Bruce Jenner, you big old... How you doing, boy, you fucker? How you doing? You big old lunt. Oh, how you doing, boy? Come here, you fuck. How you doing, Brucey boy? You all right? Right? And Bruce Jenner, because that was his name, this is years ago, right? So Bruce Jenner went, yeah, not too bad, doctor, yeah. Not too bad, right? And so, what can I do for you, Bruce? Yeah, fuck, how you doing, boy? And Bruce Jenner went, because that was his name. Bruce Jenner went, look at that. And they went, oh, come on, Bruce Jenner, you know the rules. He uses his whole name every time for some reason, I don't know why. Come on, Bruce Jenner, you fucker, you know the rules. You can't bring your big old pole vaulting pole in here, mate, you know. And Bruce Jenner went, no, that's not my pole vaulting pole, that's my enormous penis. And I thought, oh, right, yeah, seeing as your penis, you can bring it in here. But you should have left your shot puts outside. And Bruce Jenner went, that was his name, for 58 years, I think. He went, no, they're not my shot puts, they're my enormous testicles. That's where I keep my testosterone and my spunk and shit, right? And the doctor went, oh, yeah, that makes perfect. I'm a medical man, and that you're a big bloke. Oh, you fucker. How you doing, boy? You're a big... You're big, and you would have a big old cock and balls. They're beautiful. They're a bit familiar, isn't it? And I go, no, but you must be very proud of them, Bruce. Bruce Jenner went, oh, this is going to surprise you, doctor. I want to get rid of them. And the doctor went, what? Why? Ah, they get in the way. Get in the way of what? Fucking driving, for one thing. There's no reincarnation, no ghost, no heaven, I believe. People can't get over that. People quiz me on Twitter when they find out I'm an atheist. They go, what, you don't believe in God at all? I go, no. Do you pray? I go, no. They go, why don't you pray just in case there's a God? And I say, why do you put garlic over your door just in case there's a Dracula? Right? And I've got no problem with praying, you know. I know loads of nice Christians and Muslims and Jews, and if one of my family is very ill, they always say, oh, I'll pray for them. And I always say, oh, thanks very much, because it's a nice gesture. If they said, oh, we also cancelled the chemotherapy, I go, don't do that, don't do that. Pray, fill your boots, son, but let's do the praying and the chemotherapy, shall we? Because that's the same result as just the chemotherapy. So let's definitely keep that one, shall we? I got in trouble talking about praying on Twitter once. Do you remember a few years ago that terrible disaster in Oklahoma, the hurricane? People lost their lives and their livelihood, and I donated to the Red Cross, and I tweeted about it with a link saying you can donate here too, trying to help them with their drive. And one of those sort of frivolous entertainment magazines from America, their account tweeted this thing. It really annoyed me. They tweeted, Beyonce and Rihanna send prayers to Oklahoma. And I tweeted back going, oh, I feel like a cunt, I only sent money. Someone tweeted me once, would you come to the bedside of a dying child and tell them there's no heaven? I tweeted back, is it a paid gig? I prefer dogs, obviously. Dogs are better people than people, aren't they? They're amazing dogs. They're our best friends, they guard us, they guide us. There's medical detection dogs that can smell if you've got, like, AIDS. I'm not a doctor, but their noses are like 1,000 times more sensitive than ours, so they sort of go, poor, you're well HIV, fuck, you know that. And you go, you can smell AIDS on someone. Yeah, yeah. Then why didn't you smell it on the bloke I brought home last night then, you fucking idiot? They did the first 3 billion years by themselves, evolution and all that. And then we got involved and we did a bit of selective breeding, you know, getting them how we wanted them to do jobs for us, you know, a bit more of that, a bit stronger, faster, whatever. And they're great at the jobs they're bred to do, and they love the job they're bred to do because they're genetically hardwired to love that behaviour anyway. Although the Rhodesian Ridgeback was bred to hunt lions, and I can't help but think that was a little bit of a shock to it when it found out. So we did all the breeding, all the different pedigrees, all thousands, all the miles around, a big passing out parade. There's a bloke in a square with a white coat and a clipboard, and he goes, right, dogs. And they all go, what? Who wants to know what jobs they've got? We all do. Right. Okay, Labradors. Yeah? Do you like carefully bringing back dead ducks? Yeah. That's your job. Amazing. That is amazing. That is my favourite job. That is my favourite job. Jack Russells. Yeah. Do you like shooting down rabbit holes after... Yeah. That's your job. Fucking hell. Best day ever. Best day ever. Miniature poodles. Yeah. Do you like being carried around by elderly homosexuals? Yeah. That's your job. That's your job. Ridgebacks, yo. You're hunting lions. What? You're hunting lions. Fuck off. Yeah, you are. No, we're not. Lions? We get fucking mashed. Why can't the Rottweilers hunt lions? They're shaking babies. Good boy. Good boy, you shake that baby if you want. Good boy.
Comfy. It's a difficult one with a hero, isn't it? Because I think a hero should be someone who saved your life, or a relative, or someone who donated their kidney. If it's someone you've admired for a long time and made you think, maybe even changed your life, I'd say it was David Bowie. The Office sort of broke in England. You get invited to all these things. Do you want to know? Do you want to know? Do you want to know? None of those. Oh, we're having a talent night at the BBC. No, I turned everything down, okay? And then one came through, VIP audience with David Bowie. Now, Bowie has been my hero for about 30 years. So I went, yeah, right. So we went along, me and my girlfriend. It was amazing. Went the green room afterwards. There was various people there. And Greg Dyke, then head of the BBC, comes over and goes, "You're a fan, aren't you?" I went, "Oh, I love Bowie." He went, "Come and meet him." I went, No. He went, "No, come and meet him." I went, "Oh." We're walking to see Bowie. He goes, Salman Rushdie joins us. So there's me, Greg Dyke, my girlfriend, Salman Rushdie. We go down and meet David Bowie. Mental, okay? Next day I'm in the pub with my mate Johnny, and he goes, "What'd you do last night?" And I went, "Nothing." Oh, what would I say? I was hanging out with David Bowie and Salman Rushdie. What did you do? So I didn't say anything.
What made me want to do a British sitcom? Well, as you probably know, my background's in serious acting before I started doing the writing, singing thing, and so something like doing the extras is a piece of cake for me, really. And it was fun working with Rick, showing him pointers, maybe new ways of approaching comedy that he hadn't really thought about before, I think.
And he knew I was then. I think someone told him afterwards, and they gave him a DVD of The Office, and I got an email out of the blue from him. He's like the FBI. He just got my email. I think he's like plugged in to the World Wide Web, and he just put, "I watched, I laughed, what do I do now?" And we became sort of pen pals.
When we came up with the idea of doing a song, he said he would do the lyrics with Stephen, and I said that would be great. I'd love that to happen, and I'd do the melody. If you keep looking like that, your face will stay like it. That's really quite a zinger, isn't it? And that kind of thing, you see. So I've been writing jokes for him, and he assures me they'll be in the future episodes. So it's been very fulfilling, this whole experience.
was on tour in the United States back in '89, and we did a show in Cincinnati. During that show, I shouted out, "It's great to be in Cincinnati." That was a lie.
So I also like the fact that they're aware of their legend. I quite like that. Right. That they know the press's perception of that they play with, and they want to let you know that they're above that. Right. You know, that's nice.
You'd think that being a famous rock star, married to a supermodel, would be one of the greatest things in the world. It is.
We went to his apartment, and we went in, and the doorman there went, "Oh, you're here to see Mr. Jones?" And I went, "Oh yeah, of course I'm here to see Mr. Jones. David Bowie doesn't really exist,
right?
You know,
he was Davy Jones.
Yeah, we went upstairs, and it was just made a coffee. He just had it was after his little heart incident.
Yeah.
And he came round with 2 cups of coffee, pretending to be shaky and old.
Yeah.
And I thought, he's fucking having a laugh. He's mucking around. This is David Bowie. This is my hero. And the apartment is as you would imagine, like something from a magazine.
Yep.
And there was this amazing, huge statue, this work of art, like a pewter thing. I went, "That's amazing." I said, "Who's that?" He went, "Oh yeah, the artist there was trying to do." You know what Picasso did with 2D? He made it sort of 3D. He tried to flip it and make the statue that was 3D, 2D. Anyway, my daughter likes to hit that with a hammer. And I remember I sent them an email for his, I think, 57th or 58th birthday, and I put, "Happy birthday," and I put 58. Isn't it time you got a proper job? Ricky Gervais, 42, comedian. He sent back, "I have a proper job. David Bowie, rock god."
Good, that, isn't it?
And I think I should talk about him as a hero before I knew him, because that obviously, for the last 10 years of his life, we were sort of friends. Which never really confused the issue, because I sort of knew him as a friend, and he was brilliant. And I had to remember, oh, that's my hero, he's a genius. But we hardly talked about his music, he wanted to talk about other things.
What would I want my son to know about his granddad? And I think it would be the same thing that most of my dad's fans have taken over the last 50 years, that he's always been there supporting, a little bit different, and he's always been there for them. So, this award is for all the kooks and all the people who make the kooks.
He sort of put my life in colour in many ways. A working class teenager in a council house in a rough estate in Reading, and I'm eating my beans on toast and I see heroes. I think it was on the TV show Mark Bolan show, and I thought, of course, you can do anything.
Rất to và dài với hình những trái tim. Như các bạn quan sát đây, cho là sống dưới nước, cái trán rõ tình hình khô, dưới làm vèo. Đấy, tức là khi con cá heo này chỉ cần vèo cái là có thể chạy với tốc độ rất là nhanh, với 200 km/h. Các bạn thấy không? Đấy thì chính vì những cái bộ sưu tập và để các bé nhận dạng ra những cái con động vật sống dưới nước nó khác nhau, thì mình nhờ đó mình sẽ mua những quyển sách này, vừa học tiếng cha mẹ đẻ và học được cả tiếng Anh. Hai nữa là các bé lại nhận dạng được cả từ loại cá rất chi là dễ khác nhau. Đấy, thì các bạn thấy không? Thì với những cái tờ sưu tập này thì giới thiệu với tất cả các bạn là mình mua sẽ là có 15k các bạn nhé. Thì 15k thì các bạn thấy rất chi là hợp tình, hợp lý để cho các con em nhà mình được khám khám phá thế giới những cái con vật mà sống dưới nước rất chi là có tác dụng, các bạn thấy không? Thế mà nguyên liệu thì giới thiệu các bạn là cũng được làm 100% là bằng giấy cắt tông. Đấy, rất chi là bền và chắc, với độ dẻo dai rất chi là an toàn khi các bé nhà mình đã dở ra học cũng như dở ra để nhận xét, rất không sợ bị nhầu hay ướt, rất chi là đảm bảo với cái chất lượng mà nhà sách bộ sưu tập cũng đã thiết kế chúng ta với chất liệu là rất chi là cứng, các bạn thấy không? Đấy, thì chính vì có 15K nên trong video này mình cũng muốn giới thiệu với tất cả các bạn cũng như các bậc phụ huynh nên tham khảo và tìm hiểu để cho con em nhà mình được khám phá với những cái con động vật ở trên những cái bộ sưu tập cũng như những trang sách đã được in những cái ảnh minh họa rất chi là chi tiết và rất chi là giống. Thì mỗi một trang như các bạn thấy rất chi là nhiều những con động vật khác nhau. Nguyên con cá heo thì đã được làm từ 1, 2, 3 và 4 con cá heo. Đấy, thì sẽ thành một bầy đàn đã đang đi kiếm mồi, các bạn thấy không? Thì con đầu đàn đã là dẫn trước và tất cả là theo sau. Đấy, các bạn thấy, và cả những con cá đuối này cũng thế vậy, các bạn thấy không? Mồm háng há ra kiếm mồi, rất chi là với cái tư thế là manh động, và vây thì đã được quẫy với một cách là lượn lờ rất chi là mỏng, các bạn thấy nhé. Đấy thì mỗi một, như các bạn thấy là mỗi một cái này rất chi là có tác dụng cho trẻ nhà mình được sự sáng tạo cũng như sự kiến thức và sự nhận xét của mỗi con vật nó, và được cái ý chí sẽ được phát triển. Đấy. Hôm nay các bạn có thể cho các con em mình học con cá, thì mai có thể cho học con cua. Đấy, ngày kia có thể cho học con tôm. Đấy, rất chi là tiện với này những cái bộ sưu tập này. Vậy mình nghĩ giới thiệu với tất cả các bạn về những cái bộ sưu tập rất chi là có giá trị với các con em nhà mình, nên trong video này mình cũng muốn giới thiệu với tất cả các bạn để các bạn tham khảo cũng như tìm hiểu về cái bộ sưu tập để cho con em nhà mình được có cái sự ý chí tốt hơn và sự nhạy bén tốt hơn, cũng như là cái năng lực và trí nhớ. Xin giới thiệu các bạn như vậy. Xin chào các bạn và hẹn gặp lại các bạn ở video lần sau. Xin chào và tạm biệt.